Okay ladies, so welcome back. What people eat, how much they train. They'll try and make you look like you're obsessed or you've gone too far. Right, today we're going to talk about something that's really important to me, something that's a real important personal topic. And for want of a better word, it's kind of known at the minute as fit shaming. Basically, we're talking about when people are actually making a big change in their life and they're on a really important health and fitness journey, and then all of a sudden they're getting pushed back from their friends or from strangers. And I want to talk to you about it. I want to make you aware of how it even happens to me. But let's go straight in. One thing that I hear every single week from clients, okay? They're on their health and fitness journey, they're starting to see a bit of progress, they're starting to see a bit of weight loss, and then all of a sudden their friends and family are giving them pushback and they're throwing in their 2 cents, giving them unsolicited advice on what they think is the right thing to do. Just when someone's starting to feel like they're actually making a bit of progress. One thing I hear from my own clients every single week, it's so frustrating, but just when someone's actually starting to make a bit of progress, they're starting to get somewhere on their health and fitness journey and they're seeing results and they're excited for the very first time, and then all of a sudden they're filled with self-doubt because someone else makes a negative remark on their journey, on their choices, on their food choices. This can be literally anything from people giving their 2 cents about what people eat, how much they train, how much they don't train, what they're choosing to do, what do they bring and they work with them. Even if people decide to drink or not to drink, or on social occasions, or they even go as far as commenting on your physical appearance. Somehow, people think it's okay to do this. To people that are on a health and fitness journey, people that are losing weight, they're almost seen as like fair game. And people will be so negative, so hateful, and give unsolicited advice where it's not needed, it's not asked for. This is something I've been on the receiving end of quite a lot over the years. I have been very often the subject of conversation. Even when I'm there, people talk about what I'm doing, what I'm eating, how I look, and I don't know why people think this is okay. I mean, it only seems to happen in one direction. It only seems to happen to people that are actually doing something for themselves, that are actually making progress, seeing results, seeing their body change, and then other people who aren't doing that give them negative feedback. And it's so detrimental. I can totally see why people fall off track in the early stages because they're just finally starting to get somewhere, and then the people that they trust, the people that they work with or their family are telling them it's not right, it's too much, you're obsessed, you're boring, among many other things. We live in a society where it's more common to eat crap and to not exercise than it is. And so you'll put yourself in a position where you will get unwanted comments from other people, and it's a shame, but that's the way society is. Okay, so I want to talk to you about a few different areas of this, and these are certainly all comments that I've received over the years, but like my own clients face this sort of thing all the time. Because let's say you have a social group or you have people that you spend a lot of time with, and then all of a sudden you're now different and you want to do different things and you don't want to spend all weekend drinking and going out. Maybe you choose to go to the gym, or maybe you choose to lose a bit of weight. And so people will get to a point where they feel uncomfortable that they aren't doing that. They don't like seeing you doing better or doing different things. So they'll tell you that's enough. That's enough, that's loads now. You've lost enough weight now. Don't go any further. These are all things that I've been told over the years, which is nobody's business what you do or how much weight you choose to lose or how many times you choose to exercise. It's no one else's business. So the most frustrating thing is that people think that they can decide for you when it's enough, when that's enough weight that you've lost, when that's enough times for you to go to the gym. But the fact is, because you've stuck it out long enough to see an actual change in your body, it makes other people feel uncomfortable that they aren't doing that and they're not there yet. So in order to make themselves feel better about it, they'll try and make you look bad. They'll try and make you look like you're obsessed or you've gone too far. And that's what they say, just in an attempt to help their insecurity about that topic. So you, without realising, will make other people feel uncomfortable because you are the walking evidence of willpower, and they see that they don't have that willpower. So to make themselves feel better, they'll attack, okay? And they'll tell you negative things to try and change your mind and try and slow you down. I mean, this happens to me, and it happened to me a lot in the early years of my own transformation, so to speak, but it still happens all the time. And I'm okay with it now because I can understand why people do act a certain way, but at the start it was really hard, and it was making me doubt myself, because changing your life and getting really interested in your own health and fitness and personal development, it takes a bit of willpower and it takes a lot of work. And whenever the people that you trust most start to inflict that doubt in your mind, am I obsessed? Is this ridiculous? Should I be eating this? Should I be training 3 times a week? I've been many times part of a conversation at a lunch table or at a canteen where people will pick apart what I'm eating and pass comment on how it's healthy or unhealthy. So you're talking about me eating healthy food that would be classed as healthy, avocado, salad, chicken, rice, whatever I wanted because I like it. And then I would be called obsessed or too far, that's ridiculous. People actually say things to me like, would you ever eat a burger, wee girl? Would you ever eat normal food? I remember one day I was pregnant and still very active and very healthy, and I decided that I wanted chips from the canteen at work one day because I just wanted them. And I was like borderline praised when I came back with them because I was eating normal food. I'm delighted to see you eating like that. It's great to see you eating normal food again. That's what people call normal food, where I had whatever else I wanted and then I just fancied it that day, and that's what I thought, because I have a good relationship with food, that nothing's like good or bad. But when people don't have that, and it's more common for them to eat junk food, it makes them feel better when they see someone who they think is, she's really fit, or she goes to the gym a lot and she eats chips. Okay, I feel better now. I mean, can you imagine the reverse of me passing a remark on somebody's decision to eat a pot noodle every day for lunch and say, oh, I'm really concerned that you're eating a pot noodle for lunch every day? You would never say that, but people feel like it's okay to pass a remark on you deciding to eat a healthy lunch, and that it's obsessive or ridiculous. For a conversation I had with someone I used to work with, and she pulled me off the floor and wanted to speak to me because she was really concerned that I had lost what she thought was too much weight. Not that it would matter to her, but I at that point was maybe consuming about 2,500, 3,000 calories per day, training 3-4 times a week, stronger than I've ever been, fitter than I've ever been, in the best shape of my life. But she was concerned that I, in her opinion, had gone too far. So she wanted to tell me that she was concerned that, in her opinion, I had lost too much weight or that I'd gone too far. But conversely to that, no one will pull you off your work floor to tell you, listen, I think you're a couple of stone overweight and you're not very healthy. Do you even go to the gym? No one says that to you. But when you do these things, people think that it's okay to tell you that it's not right or it's unhealthy. So something else that really, really bugs me is when people feel like they have a right to remark out loud to other people and to you about what you eat and how it's not right. It's disgusting. I mean, I, again, have been criticised so many times about what I choose to eat. I used to always eat, I loved eating fish, used to always bring it into work. And it would be literally like a chorus of, oh, here we go again, here's Sarah, oh, she stinks out this canteen. And it's so embarrassing, and I felt so embarrassed at the time. This is years and years ago, way before I was in this career. This was me at the very start of my own health and fitness journey, just trying to find my feet, trying to get to know like a healthier lifestyle, and feeling so insanely embarrassed about what I was doing, so much so that it would have put me off doing certain things. So people think that it's okay to look in at your lunch and tell you that it's not right, it's not healthy. People would look over your shoulder and be like, why are you eating that? But it wasn't always like that. I mean, away at the start, whenever you're thinking about years ago when I was overweight, really unhealthy, ate takeaways every day, whenever you start to see a change and you start to lose a bit of weight, people are genuinely interested, right? And they see, God, she's doing that, maybe I could do it too, we're very alike. And then they'll ask you, how are you doing that? What's your diet like? What's your training like? What are you doing? Because they want the advice. But that only lasts so far. And if you get to a point where people usually give up, but you don't, then they don't want to see you doing any better than that, because it reminds them that they're not doing that. So typically people will root for you on the way up because you remind them of their goals. But when you get so far that you're like a totally different person, they don't want to see you doing better anymore, because it reminds them that they didn't do that and they haven't reached their goals. I remember being part of a conversation amongst a group of women where they were asking everybody what they weighed. And this again was years ago, before I was in any way interested in health and fitness, didn't really train, had tried a few things before. And I remember being in this circle, and what do you weigh, and what do you weigh, and people openly talking about it. And I was so embarrassed about what I weighed that when it got to me, I lied and said that I was lighter than what I was, because I felt so ashamed. And even at that, the girls were like, oh my God, are you that weight? Gee, I wouldn't have thought that. And I remember being so embarrassed. I wanted to cry because I felt like what I weighed really mattered in that social situation, and I was heavier than everybody else, but I lied just to fit in. So is it any wonder that women have huge complexes about their health and fitness, about their body image, their size? People are genuinely so obsessed about what they weigh and associate that with success or failure. And it's so like, that is so, the smallest piece of the puzzle is physically what you weigh on a scale. But when people remark and associate, you know, inclusion or success with weight, it's so dangerous and it's so damaging to what a woman thinks about what they weigh. So I want to talk about the other side of food and what I eat now, and talk about the times where I maybe do eat a Chinese or I do eat chips and chocolate, because I do. But people do think that they can comment on what you eat. Whenever I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. And like, I'll have met people right in a supermarket, and because you are, you know, they know, oh, she owns a gym or she's a coach, they look in your basket and they think it's okay to slaggy about what's in there. Oh, let me see, is that healthy? What's that doing on there? And it's just food. But people have such an obsession with good food and bad food that is it any wonder people behave like that? But what makes it okay for you to look into my basket and say that something should or shouldn't be there? Imagine I done that to you. Don't know if all that should be on there. You really want to have a look in your basket? I would never do that, because it doesn't matter to me what you eat. So it shouldn't matter to you what I eat. I've been in like family gatherings and social settings and nights out, and if people see you eating like a Chinese, or they see you eating things that they call bad food, and then it's like, oh, should you be eating that? Like, people have actually said to me, oh, I'm telling Kevin that you're eating that. And I'm like, are you? Oh, what do you want me to do about that? Am I supposed to be ashamed of deciding to eat chips for one? Who cares? It shouldn't matter to you. And the sooner you stop labeling food as good and bad, the sooner you'll have freedom from dieting for the rest of your life. So let's flip this perspective and reverse, and imagine someone wasn't interested in losing weight, looking after their health and fitness, weren't exercising, and imagine I looked in their basket in the supermarket, or looked in their lunchbox, or looked at what they were eating, and looked at the times they didn't train and said, should you really be doing that? Should you really be eating that? Can you imagine how horrible of a person I would be to remark on somebody like that? But for some reason I'm fair game because I'm being healthy or exercising, and you think that I can tick it and you think that it's okay. But the sad thing is society that we live in now, it's more common for people to eat rubbish than it isn't. So people will uniformly group together in that and think, well, it's okay to give her a bit of a hard time because we all don't do that and she's the anomaly. So really, to sum up on that one, just let people do what they want. Let people eat what they want and don't concern yourself with other people. Finally, I want to talk to you about body shaming, which is so rife, especially among women, and it's happened to me quite a lot over the years. I have had people like sit in inductions with me and say, I don't want to look like you, but you're too this, you're too muscly. I've had many people tell me that I look like a man, that I've gone too far, and that I'm too skinny, that I've put on weight, that my arms are too big, that my legs are too skinny, like you name it, it's been said to me, to my face and behind my back. Even during the most recent prep that we done for Spain, every week people would remark on the change in my appearance, or my face was losing weight, which I can't help where body fat goes off first. But whenever the first thing people do when they see you is remark on your body and your physical appearance, it's a bit hard to take. So I remember training in a gym one time and enjoying my session, took my top off to train in my sports bra, and the person beside me literally said, "Oh, put it away, Sarah, okay." But really what that means is, you're making me uncomfortable and I don't want to feel uncomfortable, so will you put your top back on? That was imposed on me because the other person felt uncomfortable just being around me, which is it was so insulting to me. So imagine I said that in reverse to someone else, put your top back on. You wouldn't say it, you just wouldn't even dream of it. So really now I want to finish to give you some advice that you can use if you're going through this, or if you come up against it on your own health and fitness journey. People want to see you do well at the start because you remind them of their goals, but they don't want to see you do too well because then you remind them of the fact that they haven't achieved them. So basically, to sum up, just keep doing your own thing, keep doing you. People will always be there to give you negative comments. Those kinds of people will always be around. And just remember that people only act that way out of insecurity. A really important phrase that someone told me years ago, which I've always remembered: people never criticize down, they only criticize up. So what that means is, no one will criticize someone who they think is doing less than them, or worse off than them, or not as successful as them. People don't criticize down, but they only criticize up to people who are doing more than them or have achieved something that they wanted and they think that they're fair game. So just remember that people never criticize down. People only act this way out of insecurity and because of the fact that deep down they really want to achieve this, but they can't, and they can't stand to see someone else doing it. So girls, I really hope this is helpful. I'm sure a lot of you watching this really resonates with it. You've probably found yourself on the receiving end of this, especially if you've started any kind of health and fitness journey. Don't let it get to you. Just keep doing you and let them worry about themselves and just enjoy your own journey. So girls, I hope you really enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. And if you watch this and it really hit home with you, or you know some of your friends who might have been going through this, drop them this video, send them, share it with them, drop a comment underneath. So girls, that's all for today. See you next week. I hope you really enjoyed it.